So guys, welcome to my channel Hima Education Made Easy. In our previous videos we have covered dictionaries and nested dictionaries, how they look like and how they are going to be formed. Now in this video I'll be going to discuss about Python conditions and if statements. Python supports the usual logical conditions from mathematics, that is equal to. Then in order to use not equal to, you need to use an exclamatory, then you need to go with equal to, then we'll be having a less than, then we'll be having less than or equal to. Okay, in order to use less than or equal to, first you need to use less than, then you need to go with equal to. Similarly, the same thing goes with greater than and greater than or equal to. Okay, so here in order to write greater than or equal to, you need to go with greater than first, then you need to go with equal to. These conditions can be used in several ways. Most commonly in if statements and in loops we are going to use this. Okay, in order to give a specified condition, whether these are equal to or less than, or if this passes then only you go with this thing, like that. In order to give that, we are going to use this conditions. So here conditions are equal to, not equal to, less than or equal to, greater than, and greater than or equal to. These conditions can be used. Okay, so here an if statement we are going to write. So let me clear the conditions. Okay, so here I'm going to define a number, that is a is equal to 15 and b is equal to 20. I'm going to take it as. Okay, so here in order to use if condition, we'll be using this conditions. Okay, so here I'm going to write if b is greater than a, then we are going to print in colons we need to write, right, b is greater than a. This is what we need to have an output. Okay, so here if because this condition is true, it printed this thing. So if this condition is false, it won't print anything until and unless you define an else condition. Okay, in this example we used two variables, that is a and b, which are used as part of if statement to test whether b is greater than a. As a is 15 and b is 20, we know that 20 is greater than 15, and so we print the screen that b is greater than a. So here we are going to look after the indentation next. What is the importance of indentation? Python relies on indentation, white space, that is beginning of a line, to define scope in the code. Other programming language often use curly braces for this purpose. So here if I go with if I don't give any indentation, means here you can see by code itself, it's showing an underline, red color underline. That means it's showing an error. So here it shows that indentation error, so expected an indentation block, right? This is what it shows. So in order to have indentation, you need to give a tab space which is equal to 3 spaces. Okay, then we'll be going with else if. So here in order to you use else if, here we will be cut short, we'll be writing it in cut short like L if. So in place of else we'll be going with LEL, and then in order to continue if statement, IF. Okay, so here we are going to change these things. So here I am going to give b also 50. So if a is greater than that thing, then we should print. If not, else if. Okay, L if a is equal to b, then we need to have a print of a is equal to b. This is what it should print. Okay, so in order to do that, I'm going to run it. So here a is equal to b. So here if this condition failed, so it isn't printing, and then it is going for another if condition, and it saw that it's having this one, so it went with print of the next statement. Okay, in this example a is equal to b, so the first condition is not true, but elif condition is true, so we print to screen that a and b are equal. So next we will be going with else. In order to do that, we need to change the statements. Either this condition should not be true, and this condition also should not be true. So in order to do that, I'm going to change a to be 20, so that b is not greater than a and a is not is equal to b, right? So then the final option we left with else. Okay, so there is no need to define anything in order to use else. Okay, so here I'm going with print of simply it is not greater than and it is not equal to, that means it should be less than, right? B is less than a, that means a is greater than b. Okay, this is what we need to write. So here in order to do that, I'm putting it in quotations. A is greater than b. This is what the final output I should get in order to use else conditions. Okay, so here you can see a is greater than b because b is neither greater than a or a is less than b and a is not is equal to b. Okay, in this example a is greater than b, so that the first condition is not true. Also else if condition, that is also not true, so we got the else condition and print to screen that a is greater than b, right? And you can also have an else without elif. Okay, so you can use if and else. Okay, so here if I remove this thing, I can have only if and else, and I can have both. Okay, so now we'll go with shorthand. If a is greater than b, in order to do shorthand, I'll be going with like this. If a is greater than b, print of a is greater than b. Okay, sorry, here I wrote vice versa. So here a is greater than b. Okay, so here if I run it directly, I'll get an output. Okay, so in order to write shorthand of if else, you have in order to write only in single statement, if you have only one statement to execute for if and one for else, you can put it all in the same line. So in order to do that, you need to take it as print of okay, I'll write the statement over here. Print of a if b is greater than a, else print b. Okay, so here you need to print a if b is greater than a, else print b. So here this statement has splitted in this particular manner, right? So here the condition is b is not greater than a, so you will be getting an output of b. Okay, so here if we revert this thing, a is greater than b, then you will be able to see a got printed. Okay, so here you can write print a is greater than b, and here you can write it b is greater than a. Okay, in order to shorten the statement, you can use this thing. This technique is known as ternary operation or conditional expression. You can also have multiple else statement on the same line. Okay, in order to do that, here let me say print a is greater than b. If a is greater than b, else print is equal to a this one, and then we can go with if a is equal to b, else print b. So this is how we'll be able to define this statement. Okay, now let us make both equal and then see. So here b is greater than a, this is what it got printed. So here we have already observed that before the condition, whatever the statement is there, that statement will get printed. So here if a is equal to b, then we need to print a is equal to b. Okay, is equal to b, right? Sorry, a is equal to b, else print a is less than b. This is what I will be getting. So here if I run it, I'll be able to get a is equal to b, right? And what happens if b is greater than a? So here I am going to change this to 5 so that b is greater than a, so that here the condition will get failed and you will be getting an output that is called a is less than b. Okay, so here you can write everything in a single statement, right? So here now we can use the AND keyword, that is now we'll go with logical operators and see what happens, how these things can be used. So here AND keyword is logical operator and is used to combine two conditional statements. So already we know that conditional statements are is equal to and not equal to, or less than or equal to. These are the conditional statements, right? So here I'm going to define a c as a variable. C is equal to b. I'm going to define c is equal to 15, and then I'm going to have a condition. So here if condition I'm going to use, if a is greater than b, and so here and is an logical operator. Okay, and I'm going to see c is also greater than a, then I want to have print of, okay, both conditions are true. This is what the output I want to get. So here a is greater than b is a false statement and c is greater than a is a true statement. So for that it got an error. So here we'll revert it and we'll use a is less than b and c is greater than a, and then if we run it we'll be able to see that both conditions are true. So here AND will give only when both the conditions are true. Okay, so here we'll go with last statement, that is one false statement and one true statement, and then we are going to use OR condition over here. That is, so here OR, when you are going to use OR, we'll be able to see that there will be either if one condition is true, it will print correct. So either two are true or one is true. This is what the output I'll need to get when I use OR conditions. So the immediate print statement will get printed. Okay, so here next we'll be moving with nested if conditions. You can have if statement inside if statement. This is called nested if statement. Okay, so here in order to go with that, we'll be defining a variable called x, or let me say a is equal to 100 I defined, and then here I'm going to use if a is greater than 50, then print it is above 50. Okay, and then if, again one more condition, if a is greater than 75, print a is greater than 75. Okay, and so here I'm going to use else print but not above 50, not above 75, sorry. Okay, this is what the simple loop I have worked out over here. So here it is called nested if. So here one if is inserted inside an if. So if this condition is true, it will print this one, and if this condition is true, then it will go to this one, and finally it will verify it. So here if we run it, so here we'll be getting it is above 50, a is greater than 45. These are the two things we got. So if a is in order to get only one statement, so here I'm going to delete this. So here if I run it, I'll be able to get only a is greater than 45. So here first it will check with this. If this condition is true, then it will go to next if condition, else it will go with the final condition. So here we are going with some other thing that is called type pass statement. If a statement cannot be empty, but if you for some reason you have an if statement with no content, just put it in pass statement to avoid getting an error. Okay, so here already I have defined an if condition, and I'm going to delete everything. So only if condition I have defined. So here if I run it, I'll be able to see some sort of error is coming because of the indent. So here even after giving this enter also, I'll be able to see an error. That is because of not giving any continuous statement after if. You need to have at least one statement after if. So if not, you'll get an error by saying an indentation error, something is missing, like that it will show. So in order to avoid that one, you will be using this pass statement. So here you defined something and you want to use it afterwards, but you are not using it currently. So in order to drive this thing, you need to use a statement called pass, and if you run it, you won't be able to get any error, and it will read further programs. This is what the thing called. Okay, with this we'll be winding up the session called Python if else. Okay, so here we have seen how to use if, how to use elif, and how to use else if, and then we have seen the conditions, that is equal, not equal, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and then we have moved with something called a logical operator, that is and keyword and or keyword. These logical operators also we have used, and then we have finally winded up with nested if. Okay, if you like the video, please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.